Welcome viewers to the GreenValleyLake.com round number 3 of the MX5 World Tour. We are broadcasting live on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Richard Losper, and with me in the booth is our newest commentator, Brian Corwin. Hello, Brian.
How you doing, Richard? Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be part of the team, and I'm really looking forward to watching some of this MX5 World Tour action.
Good stuff. Also in the booth for GreenValleyLake.com, league organizer Bill Zahn. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Richard, and happy Australia Day to you.
Thank you very much. And in the background, in case we need him, is Mr. Excitement himself, Samuel Ryman. Hello, Samuel. And Samuel is not there at the moment. That's all right. Our director and resident whipcracker is Giancarlo Lenzi. So, Brian, everyone on iRacing knows about Laguna Seca, since it is part of the initial content you get when you sign up. Our viewers may not know the track, so give them some information about this track, Brian.
I would be glad to do that, Richard. Mazda Laguna Seca is located in the Monterey Peninsula of California. The track is 2.238 miles or 3.602 kilometers. It features 11 turns, including the famous corkscrew, Andretti hairpin, and rainy corners, which are all very exciting for racing. And today, our group will be racing 27 laps, 27 laps around Laguna Seca.
Thank you, Brian. Well, these guys are out there, and at the moment they're doing the warm-up just prior to the race actually starting. We've got 15 minutes elapsed of that, so there's about 5 minutes or so to the start of the race, maybe less. So whilst we are got a little bit of time up our sleeve, let us play the lap guide. If Giancarlo will cue up the lap guide for us, that'll be great.
Okay, we're back from the lap guide. Richard's mic must not be working, so I'll fill in here. We're going to go now. We have time to go to the Cozy Cabin keys to the race. So, Brian, this is brought to you guys by Cozy Cabins in Green Valley Lake. You can find them out at green-valley-lake.com. Go check them out. What are the keys to the race today, Brian?
So the keys of the race today will be managing traffic, early pit stops, and defending your position. On the note for managing traffic, the track is very narrow in certain areas, including the Andretti hairpin when you're getting about mid-corner to that corner exit. Turn 6 onto the Ray Hall Straight is also one of those trouble areas where cars can really get bunched up and run into some drama. And then, of course, that leads up the hill to the Corkscrew and then down through Rainy Corner. Now, these are very crucial overtaking spots in the race, so you have to manage that traffic very carefully and use your head in the wrong, in the right or wrong position, depending how your flow is going.
For the viewers who are unfamiliar, I know a lot of the viewers here are old-time iRacers and familiar with racing, but we do have some newcomers. The Corkscrew is an iconic corner or series of corners. It's an S. It's a left-right down the hill. When you see it, it's really exciting to watch. I think you'll enjoy seeing it, and it usually causes a lot of trouble for the drivers. Not so much the experienced drivers, but certainly inexperienced drivers you can get a lot of off tracks there, and you can throw your race away in the Corkscrew.
Right, and then I'm sorry. Just want to make one more note. When you're defending your position, the Andretti corner is, it's off that long front straight, so it's a really hard area to get slowed down, and it's a really good spot for overtaking because of the wide entry, and often drivers are going to look to dive down the tight inside line and hoping to muscle their way in. So you got to be mindful of that as a driver. Hopefully everyone has a clean race. I'm really looking forward to this one, Bill.
The Andretti hairpin is kind of that double apex at the end of the long straightaway.
Yep, it comes down the front straight, coming out of the final corner, and then it's a very long straight up a hill, and then it goes downhill with a little bit of a dog leg to the left, so a lot of your weight transfers to the front right tire of the corner of the car, making it really difficult for braking for a lot of these MX-5s.
All right, guys,
Oh.
I'm going to break in here. If you all can hear me, I had a brief technical problem. They are starting to grid up, so why don't we quickly run through the grid, Bill?
At the top of the pole here, we have Uros Jelenko. Now, he qualified 6th, but he's on the pole because of the quick 6 gimmick. In second is Timo Tuliainen. Third is Amjad Yaman. Thomas Szabo is in 4th. Jan Koemans is in 5th. Yao Freitas is in 6th. And our series champion right now, Richard Ecklund, is not with us today. Back to you, Rich.
And the green flag has just flown. Uros Jelenko takes off in the first place at this point in time, closely followed by Timo Tuliainen. As they go down the hill to turn number 1, Amjad Yaman is in 3rd place. Timo Tuliainen challenges Uros in turn 1 as they go around to turn 2. Hanging in there as well, we do have Amjad Yaman. Behind them, Jan Koemans. Now, folks, Jan Koemans, this is his track. He has won here many, many times, so we're looking forward to a great race. At the moment, they single file going through turn 4, and the order is as we just said. So, Brian, what are you seeing at the moment? Anything happen in the start further back?
Right now, everyone seems to be going single file. It's a very clean start. I'm really impressed with how they're managing these corners. Right now, it looks like the pack's going up into the turn 6 kink, into the Ray Hall Straight. Everyone's looking nice and tidy. We have a lot of close drivers going bumper to bumper up into the... Oh, we have a car off. Let me get back to you on who that is, and I'll report to you shortly here, Richard.
Okay, fine. They're going down into the Corkscrew now for the first time, lap number 1. Our order is still Uros Jelenko with Timo Tuliainen very, very close behind him, looking to challenge and trying to take that first place away from Uros Jelenko. However, Uros will have none of it, and he still manages to lead as they go down into the final turn, turn number 11, to get back on the start, finish straight, and complete lap number 1. Bill, have you seen anything towards the back of the field?
An unbelievably clean first wrap, but I do see 2 drivers going into the pits. It looks like it's Simon Van Doon and Heinrich Lorenz. So we'll double check and see what happened with them.
All right, folks, we must apologize. We are having some technical difficulties at this point with the broadcast. Currently, you will not be seeing any picture. So we are going to take a short break, and we'll come back once we've sorted out this technical difficulty. Well, welcome back, folks. We apologize sincerely for that technical difficulties. And at the moment, we are driving with Stefan Overgaard. Brian, why don't you tell us what happened there during the period when we were off air?
It looks like it was Thomas Szabo was the driver in his UPS MX-5. He was going up the hill to turn 6, getting ready to make his way onto the Rahal Straight. Apologize. It appears that we're still having technical difficulties. We'll be back with you shortly once we have it all figured out.
Welcome back, folks. We really do apologize for the technical difficulties that we've had with the broadcast today. Don't know what's going on, plenty of gremlins. Anyway, back to this race. It has been really exciting while we've been away. And at the moment, we're driving with Jan Koemans running in second place at the moment. He is trying to chase down Timo Tulihainen, who is in fact, Brian, showing a clean pair of heels at this point in time and doing a great job of keeping Koemans at bay.
Yeah, you know, they're both throwing down some really good laps here, being very consistent and hitting their marks well. You know, it's interesting, as we were on break, we've been watching some of these battles going on around track. Sergio Mora and Joshua Lloyd's had a good thing going there, but unfortunately Mora lost some ground going off into the gravel a little bit. He was able to save it and go on his way. Right now I'm watching Trevor Mack as he's just kind of off on his own, but right behind him we got Overgaard trying to make a push to get his position back. Right now the battles are looking really intense and clean, and this is the type of racing we do want to see here at the MX5 World Tour.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We will remember, and the viewers may not have seen this, but at the start of the race, Uros Jelenko, who was in pole position, he led the race for a lap or two, but then he went off into the dirt and he was collected by another driver, Amjad Yaman it was, and he currently is in third place. Although if you have a look at his car is pretty well damaged in the rear. He's just been passed now by João Freitas as well, who now moves up into third place. Bill, give us a report on what happened from your viewpoint during the break.
Yeah, what happened was from the lead, Uros Jelenko got off in the dirt, came back on the track. He had nowhere to go. It wasn't his fault. And Yaman had nowhere to go, and he collected him in the back. But he's been holding his own, so maybe it won't hurt him too bad. Right now, I'm looking back at Anthony Celentano back in 18th spot. Maybe Giancarlo can come back there. We got a battle going back here. We don't see these guys very often, but it's Ben Tucker in the subway car, followed by Celentano in the black and yellow car, and then there's Arrow in that Ferrari-looking car. Heinrich Lorenz from South Africa in the blue, yellow, and black car. George Fike is back there for 21st, and Simon Van Doon a little farther back for him at 22nd. Great battle going on in the back. Back to the front, Richard.
Yeah, there seem to be a lot of good battles going on. I'm getting information there from Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, as we're talking about leaders and lead changes, right now Jan Koeman is all over the back of Timo Tuliainen, and actually it looks like Timo actually fell back to second place. Jan is making a great run right now. It actually looks like he's pulling away just a little bit going up into turn 6 onto the Rahal straight. We got a little bit of a tire off, gravel's coming up, and both cars almost go a little wide there. Going up the Rahal straight into the corkscrew, it's going to be interesting to see if Jan Koeman is going to try and make an attempt here. I don't think he will. He's probably going to play this one safe and ride it out. We still got a lot of time left in this race, Richard.
Yeah, well, Jan Koeman is leading this race as we speak at the moment. He is ahead of Timo Tuliainen. It won't show on your screen right now because that'll update in a second, but Timo Tuliainen is in second place now. I am not surprised by this at all. Bill, you know Jan Koeman very well. How many times has he won this race at this track?
I think this is our 7th time here, and I think he's undefeated at this track. I think he's 6 for 6. I think there might have been 5 for 5. He might have missed one race when he was taking a summer vacation. I want to also talk about the pit window. We're looking at drivers. We're into lap 9 now. The pit window should be anywhere between lap 9 and 18. So you could see some drivers coming in early, or drivers running it all the way to the end and then filling up on lap 18 to go the rest of the way. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you, Bill. Well, I'm looking now at João Freitas at the moment. Now, João Freitas is very, very fast at this track. He partook in a different series at this track, and he absolutely blitzed the field. But currently, he is in a distant third position to Tuliainen and Jan Koeman. So it remains to be seen, Brian, whether he can actually catch up to the two ahead of him.
Yeah, you know, João Freitas is he's a consistently fast driver. He's very consistent all over, no matter what type of track he's at. The problem is, right now, he doesn't have really anyone to draft with. He's kind of out in no man's land. Hopefully, Uros Jelenko can come up behind him and just kind of help him through the traffic that way. Maybe they'll catch him going into the pit window. But right now, you know, I still like his chances. We're still pretty early in the race, and actually right now we got some information that Celentano, excuse me if I get any of these names wrong, by the way, Celentano went off, Dwayne hit him, and Lloyd spun into turn 6, so it looks like a couple guys are going to be going on the pit road to look at some damage repairs. Richard?
Yeah, just looking at Anthony Celentano just there in the 777 car. He is currently in the pits, and I see that someone else is in the pits ahead of him there. I think that is Brandon Stroshine. So 2 of them in the pits at the moment. Back to the front of this field though, Jan Koolmans is leading this race, folks, and leading it well. In second place we have Tuliainen, but it seems to me right now he's struggling to keep up with Jan Koolmans. Jao Freitas still in third place, but it looks to me, Brian, as if he's starting to make up time on the 2 ahead of him.
Yeah, you know, last time I checked, the margin was somewhere around 4 to 5 seconds. It does look like he's gaining a couple tenths per lap. But like I said, without that draft, he's really kind of just waiting for the right moment to strike as far as his battle goes up front. Both of these guys, Jan Koolmans and Timo Tuliainen, are using up every inch of track right now. Ooh, Timo, he put one of his rear tires off into the gravel. They're both going up the rail straight into the corkscrew. Again, these guys are using up every inch of road they can, trying not to give up their position. A little bit of a slide going down the corkscrew. Back to Richard. This is one of the greatest battles I have seen in this series since I've joined the GSRC team. Tell us, what do you think this battle is going to turn out to be? Anything out of the blue or out of the ordinary?
Well, I can tell you that we've mentioned it before, this is Jan Koolmans' track. Bill said that he's won it 5 times or maybe even 6 times, we can't quite remember. He loves this track. He absolutely is blindingly fast at this track. But we want to get a report from Bill. Bill, what are you seeing, buddy?
I was watching back 6th, 7th, and 8th with Janis, and Mora had a battle. But now here's what Sergio Mora has done. You got to watch out for him because he's quick. He's come into the pits here on lap number 10. He's going to fill it up all the way to the top. He'll go the distance. He'll have a clean track ahead of him. He'll be able to make up some time. So watch for him at least to maybe jump into 4th position by the time the pit cycle is done.
Yeah, you said it before that the pit window is open and some guys do take the opportunity to pit early, and it looks to me like that is exactly what Sergio Mora has done. So when he comes out of the pits, as he is doing right now, we know that he'll be able to go all the way to the end. Now this is a 27 lap race. We're on lap number 11, so he has 16 laps to run. That should be quite easily done with a full tank of fuel right now. So we'll watch for him as the laps wind down. But right now, I want to go to Tomas Szabo, who has got a brown and blue car. Tomas was doing very well at the beginning of the race, but he had a little bit of an off and was involved in an incident. But he is currently sitting in 7th place, driving by himself, not anybody near him, either ahead or behind. Ahead of him, we do have Jay Yanis, who's trying to chase down Amjad Yaman, and look for this to be the next battle there, Brian.
Yeah, these guys also, much like the 2 up in front with Koolmans and Tuliainen, these guys are using up every bit of road they can. Now, it looks like Yaman has a little bit of a paint taken off of his car in the front, so it makes you wonder if he got into someone or had some drama earlier in the race. Right now, Janis is coming up right behind him, using that draft to the best of his ability, going down into the Andretti hairpin. Now, like I said earlier in the keys of the race, this is a very tricky corner. It's a very fast, long straight into a little bit of a dogleg to the left, where you get all that weight transfer to the front part of the car, making it very difficult to stop and keep that momentum going. But you know, right now they're showing their veteran colors. They're fighting very clean and very consistently. This is a great battle developing here.
Absolutely, and we are actually on board with Jay Yanis at the moment as he tries to get that 6th place. In fact, it's the 5th place that they are battling for from Amjad Yaman. You mentioned that Amjad's got some damage there, Brian. He was actually the one who collected Uros Jelenko when Uros Jelenko had that off. So he has got some damage. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to have done his speed much damage there, because he is still very fast and Jay Yanis is still trying to chase him down. So this is a really good battle. We'll just stay with this for a little bit as they go down in the corkscrew and they go into that left-hander downhill off camber. Absolutely difficult corner for these guys to negotiate, but they do it so well. And Jay Yanis very fast, can't get a run on Amjad Yaman at the moment, but now he closes right up. He's right on the back of him now. They go wide out of turn number 11, going down the front straight once again. As they go up the hill and going down into turn 1, let's see what he can do here, Brian.
We're looking right now, I'm looking at João Freitas actually. I've been kind of following his live timing lap to lap, and he's almost lost a whole second, actually a second and 1/10. I don't know if he's featuring any damage or if it's just that he is out on his own and has no one to draft with. He's showing very consistent laps, but right now the fact that he doesn't get anyone to run with and the battle up front with Koumans and Tulianen's kind of petered out just a little bit. They're not slowing each other down for Freitas to capitalize on that time loss, so he's kind of just stuck right now waiting for the pit cycle to go through, hopefully to make up ground there.
Yeah, I want to go back. We just saw Stefan Overgaard going into the pit lane as well and coming back out. But the battle really is right here at the 6th and 5th position, where we still have Jay Yanis and Amjad Yaman duking it out, dare I say, as Joe Peak loves to say. These guys are going back down into the corkscrew right now. Jay Yanis closes right up as they exit the corkscrew. Amjad Yaman gets a great exit from the corkscrew, and now they go down that off-camber left-hander once again, and this is a great battle going on, but we don't want to stay with this all the time. So Bill, what are you seeing at the moment?
They're pretty spread out. I was watching Stefan Overgaard came out in 15th spot after his pit, and he's right in front of Ben Tucker and Heinrich Lorenz. So I think Stefan is going to be looking at a top 10. The interesting point is going to be the pit stops. Koumans is the master of the pit stops, so expect him to come in and even increase his lead on Timo Tulianen when that's all said and done.
And Ben Tucker just had a spin there. Sorry, Brian. Ben Tucker spun just in front of Stefan Overgaard while you were speaking there, Bill, and he's lost that position and probably a couple of others as well. Stefan Overgaard was in the pit, so he can also run to the end. There are a bunch of guys who have not pitted yet. And why don't we go back to the number 1 place with Jan Koumans to see how they're faring over there, Brian?
Jan Koumans and Timo Tulianen have gotten back into the battle, it looks like. They're only 4/10 apart at this time, but I have to break away, actually, to Trevor Mack, who had a huge off going into turn 6. I think it looked like he missed his braking point and locked him up. He went up into the hard part of the wall, unfortunately, and got some damage. He carried on up the hill on the Ray Hall straight, and then coming out of the corkscrew going in the rainy corner, he had another off and hit another wall. So it's going to be a very lengthy repair for Trevor Mack. Hopefully he's not out of the race, but this is the type of drama and inconsistencies that could really come back to haunt a driver in a long season such as this. Richard.
Yeah, in fact, Trevor Mack had to pit because of that damage, and we also got information that Messerson had a spin a little while ago and lost some time. So a bunch of guys having their difficulties with this track. But back up to the front, guys, where we still see that battle continuing between Timo Tulianen and Jan Koumans. Jan Koumans in front and Timo Tulianen behind. In 3rd place, we still have João Freitas, who, even though it doesn't look like it, he has made up about a second or so in time on these two guys. And I think we will start to see, as we go to the latter part of this race, João Freitas start to shine, because I think by this time the tires are nice and warm, and the guys should be getting the best laps out of these tires now that they can. And João Freitas, I'm reminded of the race that he did here. He was very, very fast, and it certainly looks to me like he's making up time. He's 5 seconds behind the leader and about 4 seconds behind Timo. So he's got a little way to go yet, Brian, but he is making up time.
Yeah. João Freitas, he's not making up the time that he needs to make up, but it's not to say that he's not making up the time. João Freitas is typically the type of guy you consider a warrior on the track. he does not want to give up. He has made up about 4/10 since the last time we reported on him, and it just seems like he's now in the zone. He's starting to show that he can use every bit of that track and not make any mistakes. He's starting to hit his marks a little better every lap. So I think he is going to make an argument for a good finish here, if not maybe first or second. At least he's going to have a pretty solid lockup in the third position, Richard.
Yeah, thanks for that. Timo Tuliainen is now about 5 seconds ahead, so maybe you guys are right. He's probably not enough time for him to catch these guys, but stranger things have happened, guys. We're starting to get into lap traffic now as we see Jan Koemans coming up on the back of, I believe that's Jake Tucker in that pink car there. So lap traffic will play a very large part in all of this as we see the pit stops happening and the lap traffic. So things will start to get a bit hectic here over the next few laps, I'm pretty sure. Bill, what are you seeing, buddy?
I've been watching Sergio Mora. I was just checking to see if he had pitted or not. Let me double check here.
Yeah, he did pit.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Yeah, that's right. He's gonna be one to watch because the top leaders, he's currently running in 8th place, and the leaders top 6 or 7 ahead of him have all pitted. So we'll have to keep an eye on Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio did a pit on lap number 10, and
that's right.
We commentated on how he will be able to go all the way to the end now. So we'll be keeping an eye out on Sergio to see how he goes. One of the things I just want to talk about briefly with Sergio, notice how plain his car is. No sponsors, no markings of any kind, just a plain green car. I wonder why that is, Bill.
I don't know. We have sponsors in Green Valley Lake that like to be on, get some screen time. I'm going to hit him again to see if he'll be willing to run something a little more exotic than his just vanilla, or I guess not vanilla, I guess dark green, plain old car. Rich?
Yes. All right. Well, let's see if we got any action there. We're getting some information that Jay Yanis is coming into the pits. And yes, he definitely is. So he's taking his pit stop. He'll drop down a little bit. I wonder if Sergio Mora will be able to jump him. I'm pretty sure that he will. Brian, what are you seeing at this point?
Well, right now it looks like Timo Tuliainen got stuck behind Jake Tucker for a little while there. It's going to slow him down a little bit, but nothing that he can't handle. He's already making the time back up on Jan Koemans. I'm starting to think these guys might be experiencing a tiny bit of tire wear, not too much this early stage in the race, but or I wouldn't say early, but you know what I mean. The battle is developing again, and already it looks like Tuliainen's already making ground on Koemans. They're going up the Rahal straight into the corkscrew right now. I'll be interested to see if this battle gets going again.
Yeah, Timo Tuliainen has surprised me a little in this race, Bill. He's doing a great job right here in matching it with Jan Koemans.
I think his Achilles heel is going to be the pit stop, though. Next to Amjad Yaman, Jan Koemans is maybe the master of the pit stop. It's tough when you're fast and you're good in the pit lane. Back to you.
And they're both going into the pits right now. Sorry to break in. Both Jan Koemans, our leader, and Timo Tuliainen are both entering the pit. So this is going to change things up a little bit. This might give João Freitas an opportunity to lead a lap or two as we see Jake Tucker going by. Jake Tucker is a lapped car though, so this is very, very interesting. We'll just have a look and see how these guys go. In the meantime, I'll put the camera on João Freitas, and João Freitas is in the pits as well. So all three, that is first, second, and third place, have all gone into the pits. Uros Jelenko is coming into the pits as well there. Bill, all the pit stops happening as Koeman starts to come out.
We'll know how this race is going to play out here in the next 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, Jan Koemans has come out. João Freitas is out as well. Did he jump Timo Tuliainen in the pits there, Brian?
You know, I didn't catch that. I don't think he did. I'm still showing that Tuliainen is now in the lead, actually. Give it another lap to update, and I'll come back to you there, Richard.
Yeah, no, I don't think Tuliainen is in the lead at all. I believe Jan Koemans is currently in the lead of this race. Tuliainen is a little way behind him. I think João Freitas has passed him as well. I'm not sure, but
no.
we'll
Tuliainen's
check. Sorry,
leading.
Go ahead, Bill.
Tuliainen's in front. I'm really surprised. Now I think the question is, did Timo take enough fuel? I think that's going to be the final card played in this race.
Okay, I do apologize. I really thought that Jan Koemans had come out before. I did not see Tuliainen come out of the pits, but he nearly spins his car coming through the corkscrew there. Brian, that was very close, and that should give Jan Koemans an opportunity to catch up a bit.
Yeah, I think so. These guys have been fighting this whole time. Oh, we had a little bit of an off from Benjamin Lanouette. Sorry, that just cut away to another scene there. But anyways, back to my point, Koemans and Tuliainen have both been battling hard all day, and these are the mistakes these guys can't be making if they want to win this race. I think Koemans is gonna make a big run before the end of this race here, but right now I'm watching this development between Benjamin Lanouette and Steven Overgaard. They're going up to the corkscrew. It looks like Lanouette has a little bit of a run, but not enough to catch him going into the corkscrew, Richard.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I know both these drivers very well. Stefan Overgaard is really a very fast driver. I would expect him to take care of Benjamin Lanouette without any problems at all. But at the moment, Bill, this race is starting to shake out now. We're on lap 18 of 27, and right now Jan Koemans is not leading this race.
No, but expect for Timo to sputter his way to the finish line. I'll be surprised. I'm going to get ready for our Eagles Nest back marker review for a minute. So, Rich, I'll send it back to you, then you can come back to me for that.
Okay, that's great. Now, I'm going to stay with Jan Koemans just for a second here, Brian. They're going down into the corkscrew once again on lap number 19. So there's not a lot of laps left for Jan Koemans to make a move on Timo. It does look like he is catching up to him a little bit. So we are going to just stay with this battle while we wait on Brian. While we wait on Bill to get ready for his back marker salute. But I think that Koemans is throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Timo Tuliainen right now. Brian?
Rich, I'm going to jump in. I just got some news on Koemans. It wasn't a Timo short fill. It was that Koemans overshot his pit stall, and that's what made his pit stop so long. So now Koemans really does have his work cut out for him.
Well, I tell you what, he looks to me like he is catching up to Timo Tuliainen as we speak here. There's a lap car in between. But at the moment, he is certainly throwing everything, as I said, but the kitchen sink at Timo Tuliainen. Not that many laps to go, so he has his work cut out to catch him. But I guess you should be nearly ready for your back marker salute, Bill?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead then.
Okay, we have the back marker, 60-second back marker salute, brought to you by Eagles Nest Tavern in Green Valley Lake. Stop in for a beer. Tell them to put the race on the big screen and you can watch it. Okay, we're going to start with Jeffrey Bell. He's in the number 32 car, sitting currently in 21st spot. I forgot to start my clock. Let me start my clock. There we go. Okay, now let's move up one more position to Jake Tucker. Jake Tucker is a veteran of this race. You can see him in his pink Pepto-Bismol machine there. This is not his typical race. He usually runs, he's looking at a top 10. In front of him, I believe no relation, is Ben Tucker. Ben Tucker in the, I can't see from the helicopter. Looks like I think he runs the subway car, doesn't he? Let me double check and see on Ben Tucker. Seems like he's in the, yeah, he's in the subway car. There he goes, we changed camera angles. We'll go up one more spot to Sky Willis. Don't call him Skyler, his name is Sky. He's new to the series. He is running right now in 18th spot in that pretty blue machine with Sky on it. And we're going to wrap up our 60-second review going to my buddy, my IRT judge, part of the IRT review team that I'm part of, is Mihai Masisan, my Romanian friend, driving the some type of camera car. What's he driving? Not the Kodak car, I think it's the Nikon car. He's running 17th. This is his first race this season. He had to miss the first two. All right, that's our 60-second back marker review. I'm going to throw it back up to the front, and we'll see how this thing finishes up. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks very much for that. the back marker review brought to you by Eagles Nest Tavern, folks. Now back to the front, where we still have Timo Tuliainen leading this race, and currently Jan Koemans, there's a car in between him and Timo Tuliainen, but there is now lap 21 we're on. There are only 6 laps to go. He's got to fight very hard, Jan Koemans, to try and he comes up to, I believe that's Arthur Chan just in front of him there. And Arthur Chan is not going to move out of the way for him. We have another slower car. Koemans just about gets that slower car, but does manage to get past. And he's got just Arthur Chan, just past Arthur Chan. Yeah, he is on a mission, this guy, Brian.
Yeah, he certainly is on a mission here. And speaking of guys on a mission, we got a great battle here between Jari Jannes and Amin Yaman. These guys are both dealing with the lap traffic and just really throwing the cars around the track. They're sliding all over the place as we come around to the getting ready to approach the start-finish line here, going into the last corner. They're managing traffic really well. Unfortunately, they are about 21, 22 seconds back from the front 3. João Freitas, on the other hand, he is still seeming to be stuck out there in 3rd place, Richard. I'm starting to wonder if he just doesn't have it today and he's just going to have to go with 3rd place. Meantime, Jan Koemans is really showing a lot of effort here. I really like his chances. Unfortunately, it seems like he's a little bit spaced out as well, Richard.
Well, I tell you what, this is going to be a tremendous finish. I can see it coming. He's catching Timo Tuliainen hand over fist as we speak. And Timo is going to have his work cut out to stay ahead of Jan Koemans. He's got the bit between the teeth right now, and he's looking to catch up and pass Timo Tuliainen. Still got a bit of work to do, but he is getting the work done. Just behind behind Jan Koemans, we do have João Freitas, as you mentioned. He's a little way back, and really, Brian, I think you're right. He just does not seem to have it today. But that's not to say he's not running a great race. He is, after all, in 3rd place. Then we go right to that battle between Jari Jannes and Amjad Yaman, as you mentioned. And we also have other battles around the place. Uros Jelenko, I believe, and Stefan Overgaard are in a battle. So why don't we go to this little battle, Brian, and stick with it for a lap or 2 and see what's going on here, because we do have Stefan Overgaard catching Uros Jelenko right now.
Yeah, right now it seems like they're going up into turn 6. Oh, he gets a little sideways there as he gets a little too far to the inside of turn 6. He hits that little red bumper that basically tells you where the center of the corner is, and well, he definitely found it. He got a little wide there, going up into the corkscrew. He's still sliding a little bit. His tires are getting off in the gravel. You see that dust shooting up behind him. He is not losing any pace, however, as he comes around Rainy Corner. He wants to get that spot back from appears to be Thomas Szabo, and right behind him, Uros Jelenko is not letting up. He too is making a run on Overgaard, coming up to the final corner of this track, going onto the front straight. Will the draft pay off? We will see shortly as they go down into the Andretti corner. Richard?
Yeah, Stefan Overgaard is actually behind Uros Jelenko as we come to you. Uros has managed to get in front of Stefan Overgaard. Stefan held the position, but Uros passed him, so he must have had a little bobble there. So this was for 7th and 8th place. So the race winding down now, Bill, and we haven't got much opportunity to have a look at some of your back markers there.
No, we're okay. I think the back marker's been happily covered. We can stick to the front where the action is. I do want to follow up and put a final chapter on an earlier story of the race. Sergio Mora came out of the pits. You know, he made that early pit stop. He came out in 6th place, right behind Freitas and Yaman, who are battling there. Or not Freitas and Yaman, who is it? It is Yaman and Jannes. Yeah, Yaman and Jannes. Now, back to the lead. We got running him in is Koemans has been chasing down Timo Tuliainen. Catching him is one thing. He's caught him. Now let's see if he can get by him. Back to you, Rich.
I tell you what, he is right on his bumper as we speak. This is the battle for 1st place. Koeman, it passed him straight away. I don't know what happened there, but Tuliainen hit the brakes and actually allowed him to pass. So Timo must have had a little bobble there, but Jan Koeman's back in the lead, folks. And this is something that I am very happy about. for this particular race because I love to watch a champion at work, and you are seeing a true champion in Jan Koolmans at work on his favorite track. Brian?
Yeah, it looked like Timo went just a little wide there, or not Timo, excuse me. Jan Koolmans went just a tiny bit wide there. Going into turn 6, I'm watching Timo Tuliainen, what a mouthful if you're not familiar with his name, as they go up the Ray Hill Straight. I'm just bobbling all over the place here. Right now, it seems that the position was given up because of a slowdown penalty. I can't verify that from the booth. However, it did appear that he went a little wide and maybe cut the corners. So if that is the case, he would have been forced to slow down and concede that position to Jan Koolmans, Richard.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Brian. I think that's exactly what happened because he braked in a very unusual place, and I was wondering what had happened. And I do suspect that he did get that slowdown penalty. That's worked in Jan Koolmans' favor, and he's now leading the race. Timo Tuliainen in second place. Jalfred is still a distant third. So let's go and have a look at some of the other battles as we see Jay Janus in fourth place. Having a bit of a bubble there, definitely, and Amjad Yaman streaking away in front of him at this point in time. Bill, what happened there?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but look, did Janus spin? So I guess that's what happened. I'm hearing from our director. Let's see, did he stay ahead? He's on replay now. You guys can see that. I'll give back to Richard. Maybe you can see the replay. Ah, there it is. Yaman spun Janus. There you can see what happened there, guys. So that's going to be a little job for the IRT. Who is the IRT judge this week? Oh my goodness, it's me. So I'll just keep an unbiased opinion there, and for now until I review it and say that was just a racing incident. But we'll see what happens in real life when I sit down and review it more closely. Back to you, Richard. Up to the front.
Well, we'll stay with this battle. This battle is for the 5th place. These guys have been battling for a very long time. We're now on lap 25, folks, so only a few laps left to go. In fact, there will be 2 laps to go when they cross the line here. Jay Janus chasing down Amjad Yaman, coming right up onto the back of them as they go into the very fast turn 6. Will he try anything there, though? It's very risky to try a maneuver into turn 6. But he had to just stay behind him to go through turn number 6. Now they go up the Ray Hall Straight, down into the corkscrew. Jay Janus clearly very fast through here, but Amjad Yaman responds going down the hill, and at the moment he seems to have Jay Janus at bay and holding down a really good 5th place it is. Now, Bill, Sergio Mura, you said it early on in the race, he is up to 4th place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, he did that early pit stop, and then he came out. He didn't get to jump Janus and Yaman. Janus and Yaman, that's right. And but he, with that spin and accident, now he's up in 4th, and you know what? That's going to help him considerably in the point standings.
All right, so now we'll go back to the front. Jan Koolmans leading this race from Timo Tuliainen, and it looks to me, Brian, as if Jan has extended his lead since we last crossed to Jan Koolmans.
Yeah, it appears he is. I'm showing a margin of 1.4 right now, 1.4 seconds that is. But unfortunately, Jan seems to be a little agitated or a little really excited right now. He seems to be going off the track in the most inopportune places. If he wants to keep that margin,
we got to break right in there, Brian. Stefan Overgaard has put his car in the wall. His race is over on the 26th lap. I'm sorry to say that's it for Stefan Overgaard. A big crash there.
Hate to see that from the Global Sim Racing Channel, compadre. That's too bad, Stefan. Let's go back and see how we're doing here for the race for 5th and 6th right now. Boy, they're still battling it. They are still battling it. It's Yaman ahead of Janus, and really that's the only battle on the track right now, as I think it's turn out the lights, the party's over, as Koolmans is going to walk his way to the victory.
I'm getting word right now that the white flag is out. Let's go up to Jan Koolmans and watch how this battle ends the race here. There's been a lot of respect on the track. Earlier on, Craig McKenzie was in between both Tuliainen, excuse me, and Jan Koemans, and he slowed down and got out of the way. A lot of respect being shown on this track. Very clean racing going on. It looks like Tuliainen is going to try to make one last stab at it, but I think Jan Koemans has enough. Should he just keep his car clean and on the track, I think he has enough of a gap to hold him off, Richard.
Well, I think you're right there. I must say these guys have absolutely no respect for the boundaries of the track. They seem to be more off the track than on the track, but they're still keeping the car headed in the right direction. Jan Koemans on his final lap right now, going up for the final time up the rail straight, and he will be entering the corkscrew again for the final time. Definitely showed his mastery here at this track, Bill.
Oh, I'm just back watching 4th and 5th. I'm sorry, I don't want to steal the ending there from you.
Bill, the race is just about finishing for Jan Koemans, so we'll just stick with Jan Koemans for the moment. He comes down the straightaway down to the final turn. He goes left into the final turn onto the front straight as we speak. Jan Koemans, unless something remarkable happens, will win this race. He crosses the line just there and does his customary spin out as he crosses the line. Timo Tuliainen has crossed the line as well. He hit Koemans on the way through, and the rest of the guys are starting to finish off now as we're getting some information from the director. What was that, Brian?
Let's go back. We're looking at Janis and Yaman. These guys have been going back and forth as they coming up to the finish line. I can't remember who was in front. Oh, they tap going into the final corner, and Yaman goes off onto the green part of the track. Janis is right behind him. They come down to the start-finish line. I think Amjad Yaman is going to pick up 5th place, and Janis is taking 6th.
Well, that was a little bit of a love tap there from Jay Janis on Amjad Yaman. I think it actually helped Amjad get a little distance ahead of Jay Janis. So Jay Janis has finished there in 6th place. We've got Tomas Szabo having finished, and all the other guys are starting to finish their races now. There goes Uros Jelenko. Joshua Lloyds in 9th place, crossing the line as we speak. In 10th place, Benjamin Lanouette. So the top 10 now have crossed the line, and the rest of them will follow suit pretty shortly. So why don't we go to a break right now, and we'll come back to you guys with the full standings of this great race. We once again apologize for the technical difficulties we had right at the beginning, but we'll come back and wrap it all up for you. Welcome back to this race here at Mazda Laguna Seca, where we did see a pretty exciting finish to this race with Jan Koemans winning it. So we'll take you through the full standings now. Brian, do you want to start us off with the first 10, please?
I'll be glad to do that for you there, Richard. Taking the number one spot was Jan Koemans, followed by Timo Tuliainen in second. Third was João Freitas. Unfortunately, he didn't have the pace today, but he had a very consistent race. He was in third, followed by fourth place was Sergio Mora. 5 and 6 were Ahmed Yaman and Yar Yanis. They both had an amazing battle today. Seventh place was Thomas Sabo. Eighth was Uros Jelenko. Ninth was Joshua Loitz. And 10th was Benjamin Lanouette.
Thanks for that, Brian. Bill, the next 10?
The 11th spot goes to Jonathan Kerr, the only driver who sticks with the Roadster. So the Roadster, he's first in class, in 11th at least. 12th place is Yannick Kemp. That's a good finish for the Portuguese driver. 13th is Arthur Chan. I'm not sure he's going to be happy with that. Heinrich Lorenz, our youngster from South Africa, in 14th. George Fike in a traditional 15th spot for him. Sky, don't call him Skylar Willis, in 16th spot. Ben Tucker in 17th. Mihai Masisen in 18th. Newcomer Jeffrey Bell in 19th. He'll take that one. And Global Sim Racing Channel associate Stefan Overgaard in 20th. Rich?
Yep, and to finish off the standings, in 21st place, we had Craig McKenzie, who's a newcomer to the series. Jake Tucker was in 22nd, Joseph Aero in 23rd, Trevor Mack in 24th place, Anthony Celentano in 25th, Simon Van Doon in 26th, 27th place was Brandon Stroshine, 28th, Brad Wooten, who is an Australian and lives down the road from me, would you believe? Kevin Stallings was in 29th place, and bringing up the rear today was Tom Raffy. So those were the standings. Full 30 drivers came out today. One driver won it, Jan Koemans. Timo Tuliainen, a very, very good second place. So a great race, guys. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had in the beginning. Now we do have some guys ready for interviews. So why don't we bring in our winner today? And that was none other than Jan Koemans. So, Bill, would you like to talk to Jan?
Sure, I always like to talk to Mr. Koemans. Mr. Koemans, Jan, you're at
Mr.
Laguna
Zam.
Seca. That's like cheese on a pizza for you, buddy. Did you feel comfortable? Hey, what happened to the pit stop? You overshot your pit?
Yeah, I overshot my pit and it took like a second for me to actually realize it. So I had to back up and still I thought that Timo made a really quick stop, but apparently he still had fuel left. So I guess I was extraordinarily slow doing my pit stop.
When you caught up to him, did he surrender the spot to you? It's probably hard for you to tell as you're going by him so quickly, or do you think he had a slowdown penalty? Do you know what happened?
The first time I was pretty much alongside on the inside, so I think it made sense for him not to fight that one and just follow me at that point of the race. The second time, I'm not sure what happened. He was pretty far on the outside, and then I was thinking I wasn't gonna make the move stick because I was on the outside and he was on the inside. But then he seemed to give up. I don't know. I guess it was tactical from him to just stay out of trouble.
Last question: how comfortable were you in the car? Did it feel like the old times, or are you still getting used to the setup?
Yeah, it was better, but maybe just the track. I'm comfortable with the track at least, so it's easier to adapt to the car. To me, it feels really understeered now in the high-speed corner, so that's something I'm trying to get used to. Besides from that, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I had a few moments, a few missteps, but it could be worse. So I'm glad to have a good old-fashioned boring win in the back at least.
Well, you had to make 2 passes for the lead, so it wasn't that boring. But the fan club is happy to see you back up front where you belong. And good luck to you next week and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I wish I was here next week. I really like the long track, but I'll be in Switzerland, so I'll have to watch you guys.
Vacation? I got to go because they're telling me to. They're playing the music. But is it vacation or work in Switzerland?
A bit of both, Bill. Thanks.
That's the way to do it. Okay, Leon. We'll see you when you get back.
See you.
Back to you, Rich.
Okay, now we do have Yao Freitas next. And Brian, you're going to have a chat to Yao Freitas. We'll just get him into the booth here, and then you can have a chat to him.
Hey, Yao, how you doing today? Yao Freitas, are you here?
Oi, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Freitas? Today you finished in third. You had a consistent race, but it seems like no matter how hard you fought, you seem to be stuck there a couple seconds behind the two battling up front. So, as a driver, what's your mindset when this happens? Do you push harder? Do you just kind of accept it and just run your race? What was your mindset going into this race when this situation came up?
Yeah, my plan today was to stay behind as close as possible to Jan Koemans, but after I think it was lap 2 or 3, Amjad and the Euros Jelenko had an incident, then and Jan Koemans gained the gap from me from about 4 or 5 seconds. So after that I was just kind of cruising and hoping for a mistake from both of them.
Well, despite the fact that you lost a drafting partner and had really no one to battle with, there was an impressive fight going up front. We were kind of hoping they would slow each other down so you can get back into the mix. Traditionally, you're a very fast, consistent driver, so it's always kind of an odd thing to see someone such as yourself so far back, just looking for a chance to get back into the battle. Nonetheless, it was a great race today. How did you feel about the car at this track, and what's your mindset going into the race next week?
Yeah, it was a good race. Nevertheless, third place is always good. Next week I don't know where we are racing, but a podium, it's always the goal, the podium.
Well, thank you, Yao, for coming in and talking to us today. Better luck next week. Nonetheless, you had a great run, and you were still doing very well in the championship point standing, so I wouldn't spend too much time dwelling on this one. We'll see you around, and have a good weekend.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
All right, thanks for that, Yao. A great race from you, no doubt, but a third place today. We now have our old friend and one-time, a part-time commentator with us as well, Amjad Yaman. So we'll bring Amjad into the booth. Amjad, you had an absolutely fantastic battle with Jay Yanis today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that was fantastic. But it all started at the beginning when I ran in the back of Euros. That killed my top speed. Lost about a half a second per lap. So when I fell back, I just had to defend like crazy to let Yeli and the rest of the guys behind me, because if I knew if I let them pass, that I was going to be lost. But yeah, that was a fun race at the end.
Yeah, well, you lost the spot to Jay Yanis in the pits, and then of course Yanis spun, or you spun Yanis, and you did manage to beat him in the end. That last lap, he actually tapped you in the rear and gave you a little boost coming onto the front straight.
Yeah, I was thinking that he was going to do the bump and run. I knew he was not going to be happy with what happened a couple laps earlier, so I fully expected that hit and just took it square and see what happens.
Yeah, well, look, that was a really great finish from both of you guys. You were fighting there for 5th and 6th place, for the 5th place, really. Sergio Bura got ahead of you guys at some point. I think he did a very early pit stop. But still, a great race. You're still in with a good chance in this championship, Amjad.
Yeah, that's all that matters right now. Just keep on picking up those top 5s. That's the only way I have a shot at the championship.
Well, you're doing a great job, and we're really we've got our eyes on you because we think you're going to do very well this season. There's a bunch of very fast guys around you, and you are in very, very good company there. So best of luck as we go forward to the next races. Next week we'll be at Mount Panorama, which is going to be something else. What are your thoughts on that one?
I really don't know. Drop track, and you have that mountain section. It hopefully it's not going to be messy, but it's definitely going to be fun.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, Amjad. Always great to have a chat with you.
Hi,
well, folks, thank you. It looks like we've come to the end of this broadcast. We want to thank a bunch of people. But before we do that, I actually want to go back to our co-commentators and get a thought from them on how they saw the race. So, Brian, what were your thoughts? And great job in the booth today, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you for being such a welcoming team here. I really enjoyed the experience, so thanks for having me. As far as my comments or thoughts on the race, we were talking a little bit before we started the broadcast about who we thought was going to be the man in the front of the pack, and I was really surprised that João Freitas didn't come through with a good, run, at least a battle for the lead. I know we talked a lot about Jans Koeman being the guy here, and Timo Tuliainen really did put up a great fight. So, there's going to be no love lost from there. I think that's a rivalry that's just going to keep coming back and battle and as we go forward in the season. Other than that, it was a great race. I really enjoyed it. So, thanks for having me.
Okay, thanks for that insight. And Bill, what were your thoughts?
Quickly, 2 points. First of all, I'd like to ditto your remarks on Brian. Nice working with you. Very nice job first time behind the mic. We talk about the fast cars, Eklund, Freitas, Hallinan, those guys, Koemans, of course. But I want the viewers this season to keep an eye on the guy we just interviewed, Amjad Yaman. He's not fast enough to maybe get a lot of wins, but he'll put in a 4th place, a 5th place, a 4th place. Look for him to be at the top of the standings or near close to the top of the standings at the end of the season. Back to you, Rich.
Well, guys, that does bring us now to the end of this broadcast. We wish to thank a number of people and organizations for bringing this race to you. We thank Cozy Cabins, the Eagle Nest Tavern, and also the Welcome Inn Bed and Breakfast for their sponsorships in this series. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate all of you greatly. For more information about Green Valley Lake, the best kept secret in California's San Bernardino Mountains, please visit www.green-valley-lake.com. We also thank you, Bill, for your never-ending, pardon me, I've got a frog in my throat just now. We thank you, Bill, for your never-ending work in organizing this league. We also thank iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, and Ava Media for providing the software and the hardware that we use for these broadcasts. Thanks also to the team today, Brian, Bill, Giancarlo, and of course myself. If you would like to find out more about GSRC, please visit our website at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. There you will find our broadcast schedule along with archived races and race highlights as well. We're also on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. You can also find us on Twitter at GSR Channel. Very special thank you to Eric Ekholm, who provides us with some very great music. You can find it not only here on GSRC, but in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, and Spotify. If you like the music, tell Eric where you heard it at ericekholm.com. Thank you also to Casey Lalonde, who provides us with the music for our highlight videos. You can find more of his music at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. The next race in this series, the Green Valley Lake Series, will be next week, February the 1st, at Mount Panorama in New South Wales, Australia. So I'm looking forward to that race. It'll be in my home country. Also on the 1st, we have another race in the fantastic Enduro Pro Series, and that will be at Daytona Road using the nighttime track. So look forward to that one as well. We also have 2 great races coming up tomorrow, Sunday. The first will be a Spec Racer Ford race at the famous Road America, and that will be at 21:30 UTC. This will be followed by the Northwest Majors race at Daytona Road. Lots of races at Daytona at this time of year, and that'll feature the Riley, DP, the McLaren, and the Roof Car, and that'll be on Monday morning actually at 02:30 UTC. That's it, folks. Until then, race hard, race safely, and we'll see you on the track.